Last year, there was a severe flooding from tropical storm Cyclone Ditwa and Senior in South Asia, which killed many people. A TV report showed a person clinging to a coconut tree when the rescue team reached him by boat. His only hope of surviving was to cling to the tree, but even that could not guarantee his safety for long. I bet the person let go of the thought of not surviving while clinging to the tree and saying to himself, "I'm going to survive this. I'll be rescued." He was finally able to ditch, release his grip on the tree, let go of clinging to it when the rescuers arrived. I think some, or so much, of the hopelessness we experience or express is because we've lost the edge for positive thinking. We cannot see value, potential, or good coming from the bad. We see only despair. Ezekiel has a vision of a battlefield scattered with dead bodies. He sees despair in the valley of dry bones and can only think that nothing can come out of them. Yet he is asked, "Can these bones live?" Ezekiel replies, "Sovereign Lord, you alone know. If only God knows they can be revived, then only God can make something out of anything or out of nothing. God is the despair, the fresh hope of life." Later, Ezekiel's thought of despair is transformed. He puts off the thought of dry bones, let go, and witness the breathing of life into them. What we rarely notice is the positive that accompanies letting go of what we have held on to for so long. When everything feels hopeless, pause. Make sure you are not making your fear for reality. In fact, there is always something to come out of any situation, whether good or bad. It is the positive response that becomes the doorway to despair. In verse 11 to 13, this vision, as a metaphor of restoration, Ezekiel is told to say to the people of Israel, perhaps to all people who are in despair, "I will open your grave and bring life out of them," something from hopelessness, despair into despair. Have you noticed anything recently that fills you with despair? Can you also notice the despair, the fresh hope amidst the despair, so that you may let go of the despair and trust in God's despair? Turning to John 11, one scholar has said that John 11 on its own deserves to be called the fourth gospel because it sits at the center of the narrative and has links to the prologue, the chapters preceding it, and the chapters beyond it to the epilogue. So John 11, a raising of Lazarus, takes us into the heart of the Gospel of John with its theme of love, truth, God's glory, and who is truly in charge of the setting. Lazarus is described as the one whom Jesus loved, a beloved follower of Jesus. Earlier we read that God so loved the world in John 3:16, and I think that love is shown in Jesus' love for Lazarus as a reflection of God's love for the world. But Lazarus' sickness will not end in death. No, God's glory must be revealed through Jesus. He must be glorified through God. We heard something similar in John 9 when Jesus said that the man's blindness was not his fault, but that God's glory will be shown in his healing. The glory of God is a person alive. Returning to the prologue, the Word became flesh, and in him was life, and that life was the light of all humankind. So we can say that the Word makes us more alive and shine brightly. When Jesus arrived at Bethany, Lazarus had been died for 4 days. No life, just like the dry bones. Nestled around the city of Jerusalem and the surrounding mountains, towns, is the village of Bethany, El Azariah, or the Valley of Lazarus, the old name not being locally known. As we read carefully, the chapters divide into 3 parts. Chapter 11, 1-6 is Bethany. 11, 7-16, Jesus and the disciples return to Judea. 11, 17-27, Bethany again as disciples come to the place of Lazarus. Notable verses include 11:32, when Mary came where Jesus was and saw him, she knelt at his feet and said to him, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. And Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now, I know that God will give you whatever you ask of him. That's 11:21-22. Notice Martha's response, like Ezekiel's, Sovereign Lord, you alone know. Jesus will be given what he asks of God. Jesus says, I am the resurrection and the life. That is, you cannot assume the worst in everything, even in the most difficult situation. Jesus says Lazarus' sickness will not end in death. That is not to say sickness cannot lead to death. It can, as we see, but it means that Lazarus' sickness will not cost him his life entirely. He will have life regardless of sickness or death. In verse 43, after calling Lazarus out, Jesus told them, unwrap him and let him go. That's John 11:44. The Greek word for unwrap, leo, means put off, loosen, unleash, let go, release, unbind, so that something no longer holds together. Death, sin, may lead to death or represent death, but literally it is the absence of life. For some, it is the feeling of inadequacy, distress, being crushed, something destroyed, or being cut off. Yet death is not the end. It is an opportunity to see it as something to be put off, let go. It is an opportunity to begin again. In Psalm 102 verse 5, the psalmist describes himself as reduced to skin and bone in distress, but turns to God for recovery in the closing verses of the psalm. Here's the thing. The death and resurrection of Jesus Christ is played out for us to see through the story of Lazarus' resurrection. The same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead dwells in believers, offering hope and assurance of eternal life. Romans 8:11. Jesus does not only heal the sick, as Mary and Martha soon discovered when he raised Lazarus from the dead. How does living with the knowledge of resurrection hope affirm your dependence on and faith in Jesus?